the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard, but come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best, because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the ZTR XRS race out on a special course today, actually. The riders are doing the Three Sisters competition or the Three Sisters course out on course. So the three climbs that they're going to be conquering today is going to be the forward KOM, the Epic KOM plus the tower and the volcano. It's going to be a long race today, boys and girls, and the riders are out on course finishing up their first climb up and over the top of the forward KOM. We do have at the front end of this race a lot of the well-known A racers out on Zwift. We do see Ploesmers here out of the Netherlands, right along with James Hodges representing KRT. Szerzynski there for Team Poland. We've got Tom O'Kalen. Speaking of Tom O'Kalen, I was able to get a hold of him right before the race. We're going to have him on board with us throughout the race here. We'll be able to see the suffering from the climber here coming out of Norway as he makes his way up and over the top of the climb here in this first KOM. But throughout the entirety of the race here, we will be having Mr. O'Kalen here hammering away with us. So we'll make sure to be tuning in with him as much as we possibly can for those real life efforts to see exactly what it looks like to suffer through Zwift. So a little bit of a racer focus right along with the coverage of all of the action as they make their way over the top of each one of the climbs out on course. Our Richard here with a little bit of a wackiness happening there. 564 watts just stuck, 10.3 watts per kilogram. I think they're going to let that guy go as there may be something going on with the smart trainer there. 6 seconds off the front there. Philip Diner there. A little bit of an extra in the name there that we've never seen from Diner before. And it looks like Vision Cycling's director sportif has been pretty busy as of lately as they've picked up the strong German rider here hammering away on that green Tron bike, though, with a little bit of experimental in the bike, but the Vision kit on for sure. So welcoming him to Vision Cycling. But Kalen here from KRT, he doesn't care who's in the race. He's going off the front at 6.5 watts per kilogram, letting it be known that he's here to race here. As you can see the effort already here coming from Kalen there. Pretty warmed up early on there, you can see coming from the man, and he was up and out of the saddle just a moment ago. And 161 beast rate, 292 watts or so coming from Kalen. So hopefully we can keep him on board here. And it looks like 1 second is the difference between him and the rest of the riders. His teammate, David Williams, now making the juncture up to Tom to try and hang on to his wheel and maybe make a little bit of attack early on for these climbs. Now, this is an interesting tactic here, knowing that this is a very long race today. They're going to be going for the duration of this race. When I was doing the all 3 climbs for the challenge, the Rafa Rising challenge out there, climbing each one of the climbs, it took me an hour and a half to an hour and 40 minutes or so. That was solo and going for each KOM. So I was taking it really easy between the climbs, but then each KOM I was able to grab on the climbs. These boys are definitely going to be doing times much faster than I was with the group that they are hammering along with. I'm assuming it's going to be right around I'd say 18 minute epic KOM up and over the top. For this climb out here today, I actually hit a 136 or so I went a little faster there, boys, over the top of this one, but they're racing each other. I wasn't racing anybody. I could take it easy on the other side of that climb. So they're definitely going to be speeding up, I think, over the top of the epic KOM. Burton is here, though, from the TFC. Haven't seen him out there racing in a little while, so good to see the Friday Criterium rider there. CRC is the kit that they are using in that yellow kit. G. Pettit there out of the country of France there. There was a little bit of a ride slash race that just finished over there in his homeland. And now maybe taking a little bit of that motivation and putting it into the pedals out on Zwift here. Now we do have David Williams here, 6.2 watts per kilogram. Man, the KRT boys are not here to mess around. We do see Kayland here now really bumping it up, as you can see, up and out of the saddle, 290, 300 watts or so, 145 beats per minute. Kayland's really suffering. You can see it on the face there for just a moment, and now calming down as he grabs onto the wheel of Dafford. We are seeing Diner here trying to chase that down. Dafford Williams now going one more time. Now here goes Dafford up into that 6-7 watts per kilogram. Kayland following very quickly there, right into 6.2 or so, 163 beats per minute. And that's what 163 looks like right there, coming straight out of Norway here. And Diner here now 4.4 watts per kilogram, just behind him, right on that wheel. Not making his way to the front, making sure that nobody's going much of anywhere just yet. I'm going to go ahead and head on over to our social media integration. If you would like to tweet at us, you can do so by tweeting at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive over on Twitter, and we will bring your comments directly into the broadcast here. You can also comment over on Zwift's Facebook. We'll make sure to grab those comments as well. I got to set that up real quickly here, but we will be able to bring in all of your comments and questions if you have any about racing out on Zwift, about what is going on in front of you with this massive multiplayer online game in which people are actually cycling in real life in order to power these avatars. Please bring them our way. That's what we are here for, is to answer some of your questions. And we are got to have Michael Schneider here. Hello from West Palm Beach. How's it going there, Michael? Good to have you in the broadcast here over at Zwift's Facebook right now. And if you do want any information on how to tweet at us, let's go ahead and see if we can give you a quick little example here. And the way that this picks it up is, you can see there's at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live in that tweet right there. And if you put that in any tweet, I will get that right into the social media integration. I'll pick that up and be able to bring your comment or question into the broadcast. We are also live over on Mixer, as well as Twitch and YouTube. You can always find all of our broadcast locations on our website at ZwiftCommunityLive.com. ZwiftCommunityLive.com has every location that we are online for all of the information and broadcasts that you would like to check out. Hodges up at the front here. It looks like the boys have chilled out. 122 beats per minute. Pluzmer's here, 129. They know what's coming. Look off in the distance there in the upper left, and you can see the climb that they're going to be heading towards and really looking to demolish themselves over the top of that climb. So it's going to be the race decider, definitely. But after that, there most likely will be 1, 2, maybe 3, maybe going into 5 even, that do regroup before they hit the volcano KOM. That is going to be a huge climb to be, well, it's about 5 to 7 minutes, but it's a deceptive climb. The huge climb out on course, most definitely, the biggest climb out on course is definitely the Epic KOM. But after doing the Epic KOM, the volcano at like a 6 to 7 minute effort all out, and at the tippity top of it is when it actually gets the steepest. It's definitely going to be a moment to have some race decision out on Zwift today. So be watching out for those moments for sure. Coming up out on Zwift, though, we do have the PRL Prudential Ride London women's race this weekend. So watch out for that. We are going to be covering that 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, actually, CDT. So come on out, and for all the women out there that would like to get involved in the Prudential Ride London women's race, it's a great warm-up for the Zwift Academy that is launching in September, actually, for the official launch of it. It is open for registration right now, and they're already doing Zwift Academy rides for the women, but we are covering a race this weekend. While the women are out on the Prudential Ride London race as well, you can race at the same exact time, actually, as the racers are in London. So pretty cool little event that Zwift is putting on. If you'd like to get involved, make sure to check out all the details over at Zwift.com/events. It is already over there, as well as loaded into the Zwift mobile app already as well. Tibio Pegasus, good to see you over at the Mixer channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in and for your comment there as well. All right, looks like the boys have definitely chilled out. It's going to be a tactical race, but they're going to take this right-hand turn into the course up to the Epic Climb here in just a moment, actually, as they head underneath the old Jarvis tree that was transplanted. Well, at least that's our theory, as it was transplanted over from Jarvis Island, the original Beta Island out on Zwift. For those who are unfamiliar with what that is, what are you talking about, Jarvis Island? The original island out on Zwift was actually a small 3-mile loop or so that was very, very short. All you did was you go out through an old Italian village. It's kind of like the one that we have now by the sprint section. And we would we'd head through there. There'd be some music as you went through, and then there was a climb that took maybe a minute 30 or so, maybe 2 minutes tops or so if you were all out. 3 for some who were taking a little bit easier up and over the top. You descended the other side and then flattened out through the Italian village again, and that was it. It was maybe a little bit of a two-tier if you did it backwards, but the forward way was a very short puncher for sure. There was a sprint section out on course. There was a KOM and a lap. Those three things existed. That was the only jerseys that you could get, but they were all on the same exact 3-mile loop for the old school Jarvis Beta program that was the original Zwift that we were able to ride in. Scarbones is saying, can you please shout out to my boys Andrew and Nicholas, please, and thank you. What's up, Scarbones? Good to see you over at the Mixer channel. Definitely shout out to those boys. Are they out on Zwift? We'd like to see those boys out on Zwift riding their bikes, actually, hammering away. As they head out of Ocean Boulevard, we can actually see that the pace is picking up a little bit, as we do see Tom here up and out of the saddle. Kicking up into, let's go ahead and see where they're at. About 6.6 watts per kilogram, 156 beats per minute. That was a little bit of an up and out of the saddle just to make sure nobody's going much of anywhere just yet. Looks like Richard's got a little bit of a bug going on there at 9.2 all day long with no cadence. So he may be taken out of the race actually soon enough. But now up toward the front, we do see Burton here backing off 3.5 watts per kilogram, 170 beats per minute. Diner is right along with him there for Vision, 3.5, 4.4, pulling things back in. Now we do see Hodges going early actually to the front of this race, and this may be a move to make sure that he does not get dropped right off the bat, actually gets a little bit of a head start into the climb maybe, because this is the most difficult part of, well, not the most difficult part, but one of the more difficult parts of the climb is this initial kick as they just go all out up and over the top of this first little part, because it is really, really steep and then it levels off. And if you can actually go with them through this section, you can get a little bit of reprieve up and over the top of the initial bridge actually that they'll be going over the top here in just a moment. As you can see, here's this initial kick as it weaves a little bit, these S-turns, and then I think it's into a 6, 7, even 8% gradient as they head into the bridge here, this suspension bridge onto the Watopia Epic KOM here. We do see Plujmers here making his way to the front from Team Experimental. Back with Kalen, though, 6.5 watts per kilogram or so, 165 beats per minute. We can see the effort from him. Let's go ahead and watch the heart rate climb there. 379, 389, 404, 6 watts per kilogram on hammering away. Plujmers now with a little bit of attack, and you can see that he definitely wants to try and break things apart very early. Joachim Plujmers definitely one of the riders to watch out for today with all the climbing. One of the strongest climbers we've ever seen out on course. But Diner, I'm not sure that he's been beat in recent time, actually, out on Zwift. Burton trying to follow it up very closely from the TFC, going to grab onto that wheel. They're in that 6-7% gradient or so. Definitely feeling that gradient, having to pull those avatars up and over the top there from this effort. Rumberg here at the back here from Sweden. Looks like falling off just a little bit, 5.8 watts per kilogram. Kalen now up into 8 watts per kilogram, trying to get back on terms, up into that 169 beats per minute. The heart rate's really coming up now, 400 watts, 170 beats per minute. Now he can see the threat now, so he grabs right onto Strzezinski's wheel, right along with Plujmers, and trusts them to be able to bring back that break, as we've got Kalen here now up into that 169 beats per minute. 232, though, as you see him back off just a little bit. You saw him actually stop spinning there for just a moment to try and grab onto the wheel and not go by, actually, as you can see. There was a little bit of a reprieve in his effort that you saw there, as he wanted to just grab the draft and trusted Runberg and the rest of them that were around him to pull him back up to the rest of the riders. But maybe not going to happen. Kalen now seeing that there's definitely a threat here. You can see him there getting up and out of south, 5.9, now 5.5 watts per kilogram or so. Trying to stay with now 6 watts per kilogram. Let's see if he's going to get back on terms with the front end of this race, because it is out to 6 seconds. He doesn't want to let them go now. We are seeing ZS now following right on with Kalen's effort there to try and get back with the front of this race. But Diner here still attacking up in that 5.5 or so watts per kilogram. Here is the difference between the riders. Diner on the front of the race now, as you can see where my cursor is here. And as you can see there, there's 3 trying to chase him down, Strzezinski, Burton, as well as Plujmers. But then we do see right here, it is going to be Kalen as well as ZS there in that level 15 kit there. Actually, that was actually the top kit that you could get at one time. It was that was the coveted highest level that you could reach before they unlocked level 20 and then level 25 as well. But now we're waiting a little while here. Where's the next levels? I want to go next level here, boys and girls. But now Burton here, 5.6, right on with Plujmers. Diner, though, they're off the front there. The strongmen have shown themselves here up into this little bit, about 3 minutes or so. They're only about 3 minutes or so into an 18 and 19 minute climb at the pace that these A boys are going to be climbing this. But Diner here already letting himself be known at the front, doesn't want to make it come down to the last KOM over the top of the volcano course. If you're just turning in, this is going to be, no, Rogers thinks it's the pretzel course. They're doing the Rafa Rising Three Sisters Challenge actually out there today. They did the KOM already forward. They did a solid 148 over the top of that. We're looking for them to hammer out the epic KOM plus the tower and then head on over to the volcano and hammer over the top of the volcano. We're going to stick with the A racers today throughout the race. It's going to be a crazy hard race. And we're going to see if who is going to be able to conquer this and how quickly. One of the cool things to see today is how quickly they can actually complete this course, because I'm not sure that we would see anything close to these kinds of speeds from anyone who is not racing out on Zwift actually. So looking over at the C category, then we do see the B and the C category riders just starting up their climb up and over the top here in the XRS race. There are no power-ups in this race, just so everybody knows. For those who are unfamiliar with the world of Zwift, there are actually power-ups in the race. And for those who are familiar and are wondering, will they be able to use power-ups? ZTR and XRS races are races that do not use any power-ups whatsoever. They're not gamified in any way whatsoever, or like the way I like to say it, they do not use any RNG at all in these races. So there is no power-ups in this race. All right, so now looking back here, we do see there's going to be R. Glazer right along with P. Smith now, trying to make this chase in the B and C category. They're a little ways off of the front end of the A category right now. Glazer, I believe, is leading out the C's, though, at 160 beats per minute or so. Berger is there as well from Germany. Hemingway at 2.8. Opens is there and making a chase about 10 seconds back from second place in the C category. So that's the front end of the C's. At this point, there are some A's and B's mixed together, though, at the front end of this A race. Diner is still walking away at about 1 second, but Plusmer's now kicking it into 8 watts per kilogram, trying to get back on terms. Burton trying to close that down from the TFC team. Szerzynski now 7 meters off, looking for that wheel. It is completely broken apart now. Out on course here, we're trying to get a top-down helicopter view to see what the gaps look like. There is Diner coming around the corner right along with... It looks like Plusmer's just off the wheel. TFC Burton there now trying to close down about a 20 meter gap. Szerzynski is there as well, just about 6-7 meters off the wheel of Burton. Hodges is there. The cake is alive, man. They're from the KRT team with Kalen trying to close it down 6 watts per kilogram or so. This is what 6 watts per kilogram looks like, boys or girls. Absolutely suffering. Kalen just out. This is actually not Brandon M. That was Brandon was from Team KRT. He was the last one that we had actually in. I got to change up that title there, but this is what it looks like there. KRT rider there. Tom Ove Kalen absolutely killing it out on course today and making sure that nobody is going anywhere just yet and actually closing it down to the front runners here. Great job actually to him as he is bringing back that breakaway actually at this point. So solid effort here from Kalen. I was not expecting that. I was actually, they were going away from him early on, but it doesn't look like that is going to happen. It looks like he is going to be able to bring them back into the fold now, actually, as he's kicking it into about 7 watts per kilogram for a little while there. Kalen's back on terms with Richard right along with Hodges. It looks like it is only going to be about 5 seconds up to Burton, and then Diner and Plusmer's, though, starting to really stamp their dominance on this race today. It does look like we did get a fix there on the tight overlays there for Mr. Kalen there. So next time we will be able to bring that in correctly here. So if you are over at the Zwift Facebook, you can go ahead and bring in any questions or comments that you might have. Who do you think is going to win out here today? What is your predictions for the riders? Diner here at the front here, 5.4 watts per kilogram for his last few races, has not been beat in quite a while, I don't think. Let's go ahead and open up ZwiftPower.com and see what they have to say about recent races for the man here, Philip Diner. As I look through the live results, you can actually head on over there and see exactly what their past results are as well as what their live results are for the race out there today. Diner's got 45 races out on Zwift. He picks his races, it looks like, selects them very very, very intelligently. Actually, he's actually a coach, professional coach, and he is ZTR approved. So that means that we do know that the power numbers he's putting into the world of Zwift are verified with a strain gauge power meter. And with just 45 races, he's not racing quite as much as some of the other races we've seen out there, but he did win back on July 12th, actually, the XRS individual TT, actually a 9-mile TT. Solid job there. He took a third place in the XRS ZTR Tuesday Night Worlds, actually, on the 11th, 2 weeks ago. Exactly 14 days ago from today. Then on the 23rd of June, he took a win. And then back all the way on April 25th, the PRS project, he took a win. So a lot of gold medals or third places. He's all in or grabs the third, it looks like, for almost everything he's done all the way back through March. Actually, all the way back through March, he has taken a podium every single time through March 4th, actually. So definitely watch out for him to take this win. But we do see Pluzmers here making sure that he's not going anywhere, grabbing onto that wheel and drafting to make sure that that wheel does not get away from him. But it does look like ZS here right along with Burton, making sure that they're at least within 8 seconds continually now. Pluzmers now kicking into 10 watts per kilogram. And then we do have Burton, Hodges right along with Richard. Caitlin trying to hang on here up into that 165 beats per minute or so. Richard there up into 12 watts per kilogram, getting away from these boys with maybe a little bit of bug still. Has had some sort of an issue over and over again. I'm not sure what's going on with Richard. We'll give him a ride on for getting out there and hammering away, though. But most likely we'll get some sort of a relegation with the oddities of his smart trainer or power meter out there. Pluzmers and the leader Diner here off the front by about 8 seconds now. Richard there 3.8 watts per kilogram, and we do see that the TFC boy Burton there 180 beats per minute, absolutely killing himself. Let's take a look at a few other riders for their past races. Actually, Burton, we can see there has put out about 4.3 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race today, coming out of the United Kingdom. 103 races out on Zwift. He's taken a fourth, a 13th, and then took a third back in the Primal Europe Friday Criterium TT, actually back on the 14th, a little over a week ago. So looking for a podium out here today. He's gotten a lot of fourth place finishes, actually. Actually, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 fourth-place finishes, actually, in the last 20 or so days for Mr. Burton out here today. So definitely going to be looking for a podium out there. It's been one place off the podium for quite a while out here for Mr. Burton here. So with Richard there just ahead of him, Burton there up into that 182 beats per minute, though I'm not sure it's going to happen as a max heart rate. Well, he's got about 12 beats to work with. You're definitely in a moment of absolute suffering, though, when you've got only 12 beats to work with. That's up into the threshold for sure, boys and girls, as he is hitting up into that 179 beats per minute. He's eventually going to have to bring it back just a little. Kalen now trying to make the comeback after he was most definitely dropped off early on. Maybe had saved just enough, and you can see the suffering that really starts to come onto the face and into the body as you start to get into that 10 minutes into an effort like that. And I've done repeats on this mountain over and over and over again just in order to get the training in that's needed for threshold training. It is a great training tool, actually, this mountain is, because it is this virtual pinpoint out on the map. It's this virtual goal that you can set to get to the top within a certain amount of time. You have that effort in mind about what you want to do all the way to the top. You set it and then you get there just like you would in real life, except for you've got this continual massive multiplayer online environment in which you can actually see everybody else's effort and try and challenge them in real time. Then when you're racing and you see their effort trying to go away from you, and Kaylin can see this, you can see the suffering on the face right there, as we got a couple of pauses in the camera for a moment there. But as you can see, up and out of the saddle, trying to close it down, not letting those wheels go. You almost always set your absolute best times up and over the top of this climb when there's others around you pushing you on. Attacking Szynski, getting away from Szynski, up in that 170 beats per minute, not trying to let Richard go at this point. Kayland is all out, trying to hold on to this top 5 position still over the top of the Epic KOM. What an effort here from the KRT rider. Now, Szerzynski just a little ways back, 176 beats per minute. Plujmers and Diner, though, in a league of their own as they're getting away. Kalen here now backing off just a little bit after putting in that dig, as you can see. And we'll get back with him in a little bit here. He had reserved a little bit for that kick. Now getting into a steady groove after he threw down that kick to try and stay at least within striking distance for Richard and the others. We got a little bit of a view here of the mountain as we're heading into the final moments of the climb. There is Diner and Plujmers making their way through the underground tunnel here, halfway up or so through the climb. I think they're going to have actually about 6 minutes or so to the top. We don't have any Epic KOM data because we are a part of the event out here. If we were out in the open world for cycling out on Zwift, we would most definitely see a few times, at least up and over the top of the Epic KOM, as you can challenge others all day long, if you'd like to, up and over the top of the KOM for the climb. We do see it is 13 seconds back to these others. This race is definitely not decided yet, as they still have the tower climb, which is a solid all-out 5 to 8 minutes or so effort into that 17% gradients at times over the top of that. If they are on smart trainers, they're most definitely going to be feeling that effort over the top of the tower climb. Here we do Diner now. Diner now killing it there at 4.4 watts per kilogram. Resting up a little bit though. We see 28 miles per hour over this old rickety bridge that they have to do before they have these final couple of climbs here. It does have a little bit of change and undulation over and over again as they make their final attempt over the top of the official Epic KOM timer. Then they will take a left-hand turn into the tower climb, actually, out on this Rafa Rising Three Sisters Challenge. Conquering the second of the three today, the longest of them. It's going to be difficult still to try and finish up ahead of these two that are chasing them down. 308, it's looking like ZS here, 4.4 watts per kilogram. Kalen now 12 seconds back and working with Szerzynski, it looks like, at this point. And I do not believe there are going to be any TT swaps in the XRS races. You cannot swap bikes. TT bikes are not allowed, so it is going to be only road bikes out here today. Again, we're going to check out all the comments, make sure that we're including all of you in the broadcast here. We are seeing Oliver Mile SG. Good to see you over there. Kobe 8, as well as Timberhead Bison. Good to have you over at the Mixer channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. How are you? Good to see you and your comments over there. I am seeing then as well Chris John Smith, good to see you. Have you finished, or are you at the back? Chris John Smith, I am definitely at the back. I have not finished. I'm definitely finished for the day. Paul Howarth, good to see you there. Race these boys. How's it going there, Paul Howarth? Good to see you. Jonathan Roberts says, I did the Three Sisters course last evening after about a month off the bike, and it was killer. They are crushing my time. Doesn't help that. Good to see you there, Jonathan Robert. Good, and thanks a lot for tuning in today. It was a difficult challenge for sure. I was really glad to have finished it. And you do open up a new kit in game once you come over the top of the three climbs and finish out through the finish line. You open up that Rafa Rising kit. It's a nice blue kit in game that each one of these riders are going to be able to have if they did join the challenge before jumping into the race. Looking through the rest of the comments. Hey, Nathan, where's KC at? Thanks a lot, Liam. I'm going to find him, actually, and make sure that we do not lose Mr. KC from the WBR. Where is Kevin out on course? I'm looking at Timothy Termont, actually, here from Vision Cycling. I'm seeing Westerhoff a little ways back as well. Moving through some of the other riders. Let's go ahead and move our way back to the C category, as we've been doing a lot of coverage so far of these A riders. Real quickly, though, I do want to just highlight the battle between Szerzynski and Kalen. Kalen here watching that wheel of Szerzynski very closely, making sure it's not going much of anywhere just yet. Grabbing a quick little drink as they come over the climb here, so you can see the water just back down to about 152, 138 as you rest up. Grab some water. That probably feels so good at this point, as he is looking like it's super hot in the in that room right now as he's suffering away. But I'm looking through to see if we can find Mr. WBR himself, KC, as we do got Bergenski here from the BRT team. I did hear a little bit of a notification over at the Mixer channel. Zinc Friar scene, what is this game? And Rogers, thanks a lot for answering the questions. We'll show Tom Kalen cycling occasionally. Yep, Tom is out there. And no, it does not work with the Kinect on Xbox, but maybe send back some feedback over to Zwift. Say, hey, I'm on Xbox. I'd love to use this. Definitely would love to see you guys be able to use that with that. Looking through here, though, we are looking for the WBR boy. We do see, it looks like Casey is right here. Right behind Simon Oxenham, actually, from the XRS boys here in the A category. Just a little ways back, actually, about 258 back from Burton and the rest. He's still sitting almost within the top 10, I think. So there are a few spots for him to bring back here. It does look like Razak coming out of Switzerland is right on the WBR leader's wheel there. It does look like AT right along with Oxenham getting a little bit of a gap, though, over him. As we look over his shoulder, there is the gap as they do these last little kickers to the top of the Epic KOM. Let's get back with the front end of the A race, though, real quickly, as we do not want to miss what kind of time that they're throwing over the top. We do have Philip Diner here with one last little dick with Joachim now trying to hold on to the wheel. Joachim maybe not going to challenge him for the time. 176 coming from Joachim Pluzmers. We do see Diner here coming over the top with a time of... It's going to be 19 minutes flat. So not like insanity 18 minutes attacking the entire time for the win over the top, but definitely a crazy fast time there in that 19 minutes, probably doing somewhere right around a 5.3 to 5.4 watts per kilogram for the duration of the climb out there today. So killer effort there from Diner. Going to rest up, it looks like now, a little bit as they make their way into the tower climb. Now the hard part starts, boys and girls, as that thing right there in front of them gets into a 17% gradient at its max incline. And they're going all the way to the top, boys and girls. So definitely time to suffer. And now the attack here comes from Diner into 7 watts per kilogram, trying to catch Mr. Joachim Pluzmers off guard now. It is going to be Kayland here now, able to get into third place. He's definitely played his cards correctly at this point. As you can see, grabbing another drink of water there, it is going to be Kayland here, resting up a little bit as he makes his way into the tower climb himself, actually. That is what it looks like to race out on Zwift, boys and girls. If you don't think the effort's real, it absolutely is. It is some of the best workouts that you can get, especially the racing, as far as pushing yourself against a massive, against a cycling made social, massive multiplayer online environment with all of these riders from all over the world. International field here amongst this group right now, absolutely demolishing themselves over and over again from their pain caves. And the racing out on Zwift is some of the hardest racing I've ever done by far. Up and out of the saddle into that 6 watts per kilogram, trying to chase down Mr. R. Richard here. Looks like Pluzmers now has bitten the dust. Is now Kayland now maybe sees a little bit of weakness there as he's been dropped off from the wheel of Diner, and Diner looking to make a solo TT off the front now at this point. So it's going to be a race for second place, maybe. We're going to see if they can hold on to the gap, though, as now Pluzmers has to kick into fourth, now down to 2.7. He's trying to find the little bit of wattage, a little bit of effort, a little bit of energy that might be left in his legs, find that special like next level breakthrough moment to hold on to any kind of wattage, to hold off these chasers. But now Kayland, Richard, as well as ZS here have a little bit of motivation now to see that Pluzmers is no longer with the lead rider Diner now, who's starting to walk away up and over the top of the climb. 400 watts now coming from Philip Diner's legs right now. The German rider absolutely killing it here. Joachim Pluzmers now up into those 180s. Every time he hits that 180 or so, he has to back it off. I think that's kind of that over threshold limit for Joachim Pluzmers. Kayland now, we can see the effort now up and out of the saddle. He is on a smart trainer, boys and girls. He feels this 14% gradient right now, having to just grind out 59 RPMs, 60 RPMs, looking for that effort, putting on a show right now, boys and girls, sitting in 5th place amongst some of the strongest riders out on Zwift right now, trying to close it down to Richard and ZS. Will he be able to hold on to this effort to the top of the climb? You can see the tower off in the distance there. Come on now, Kayland. Give him a ride on. Let's hear for Tom Kayland as he's trying to get to the top of this climb within striking distance of the rest of these riders. But he's still going to have one more of those 3 climbs in the Rafa Rising 3 Sisters Challenge out there today to take on. The volcano is still going to be in front of him yet, but he will get a long descent into the into the Ocean Boulevard section of the course, the flatter section of the course, and then make their way over to the volcano. Diner, still with 9 seconds, is continuing to open up this lead. And with this extreme gradient at this point, 9 seconds, absolutely huge, actually. You can see the gap here from Diner at this point. It's going out, and I think that's going to go out to almost 30 seconds or so when they make their way over the top of the climb here. Looking down from the top here, you can see there is the climb. Here's a little dot from the helicopter. There's Diner. Here is Plujmers. About 9 seconds back in him is going to be Richard, ZS, and then Kalen. No groups at this point. As you can see, the climbs take away all of the drafting, and it's just going to be, what do you got against what do I got out on course? Kalen here, 5.4 watts per kilogram. The head is down. He has given everything he can. 170 beats per minute right now. He's turning red in the face. He is absolutely giving everything he's got into these pedals, trying to get to the top of this climb within striking distance of ZS and Richard. Maybe be able to stay with him and then pull in Plujmers, who is off the front of this climbing section of the course right now. And it looks like here we do have a few comments coming in now, coming from Zinc Fire saying, hey, I'm on Xbox and would love to see this on Xbox platform. That sounds good, Fires. Thanks a lot for your comment over at the Mixer channel. Cheers, Nathan Leonbard. No problem, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Paul Haldworth also saying, trainer and bike, letting us all know how you get it set up. Thanks a lot for the information there as well. And Dave Rodson saying Richard's not even pedaling. He's had a little bit of an issue here and there. I'm not sure what's going on with his trainer. It was like bumping up to a huge amount of wattage and then back down, huge amount of wattage and back down. He does not have a heart rate monitor on, and in these races, he's unable to actually qualify for the finish if you don't wear heart rate monitors actually in, at least for a win or a podium place, I think it is, in the XRS races. There's been some recent changes to some of the rules. So he gets a workout out there today. Good for him. Right on to him. Thanks a lot for joining in, Richard. We love to see all the people out there. They also try and keep things as fair as possible. Now it looks like Kalen, though, with that killer effort, is going to grab back onto the wheel of Richard, get a little bit of advantage maybe from him, but Richard kicks it up one more time. Kalen's got to grab that wheel, get that advantage from the rider now. Don't let him get away now, Kalen, as you come up and over the top of this climb. Grab on and hold on for the descent because Szerzynski's trying to chase you down here out of Poland. He's going to have to grab some water, though. That was a killer effort, and they're heading toward the KOM over on the Volcano, the latest expansion out on Zwift. That will be the final decider for the race. And as we said, this climb is absolutely insane how much of the time gaps go out once you climb up and over the top. You can see, as I said, that 10 seconds turned into 30 seconds. And Diner here now attacking on the downhill, 30 seconds out. Plujmer's up into 12 watts per kilogram, looking to close this down as quickly as he possibly can from Team Experimental. It's 24 seconds. Nothing's decided just yet, boys and girls, as they are making their way down the Epic KOM, the other side of the Epic KOM, and going to be heading on over to the Volcano course. Back with the chasers here that are still making the way up and over the top of the climb. We were getting a few questions about where these other riders are. They're underneath the mountain, it looks like. They're completely buried. They have buried themselves. No, just kidding here. We've got, it looks like, Schmidt Peter here coming out of Germany, being chased down by Simon Oxenham from Team Experimental. Wesenbeck is here as well, sitting just outside the top 10, I believe. We've got Race WBR himself, Mr. KC. Kevin coming out of Ireland, killing it, trying to chase down the men out of Switzerland, Rozic as well as AT. It looks like Dauphin Williams from the KRT team there right along with Pettit. Brunberg is there with Burton. Not going to be getting the better of the fourth place, it looks like, unless he can close down 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But this Epic KOM has completely demolished all of the boys out there. It's been a full-on 20 minutes. What do you got? That's for sure, to the top of these climbs. Jonathan Roberts saying, yeah, I'd say something's going on with him. Yeah, I think so. There was a little bit of a glitch there, I think. And a little bit of Wreck-It Ralph, but we're not cheering maybe for the glitch too much out there. Maybe we can cheer him on and say, good job. Give him some ride-ons. Thanks for joining in. But maybe going to get a little bit of relegation here. Szerzynski now with Kalen, trying to close things down to Richard. Is ZS here. I think they're going to work together now at this point. Szerzynski now, Kalen up in the 10 watts per kilogram real quickly. They're making sure nothing's going anywhere just yet. Szczerzinski now 3.7 watts per kilogram. 42 miles per hour as they make their way down this 7.2% gradient now. Moving back, though, we do see it is going to be Pettit now, as well as ADZ and Dahl, a part of this B race, trying to chase down M. Berger, who's in the C category, actually, coming out of Germany there, with Oprens coming out of Belgium, trying to chase him down. As you can see, all the flags on the far right-hand side of the screen there. All of those riders actually over there are all those flags are actually the countries that these riders are in, that they're hammering out of right now, actually. Huge international field. And right next to their names, you can see all the metrics, actually, that you can see out on Zwift. That's one of the cool things, actually, about racing and riding out on Zwift, is you can always see how far up the other riders are that you are riding with or competing with. You can see how far they've gone, how many miles or how many kilometers that they've done. You can also see the watts per kilogram that they're currently putting out. As you can see here, M. Berger right now putting out that 3.4 watts per kilogram. Can see that Oprens just ahead of him is putting out 3.5 watts per kilogram. That's how many watts, how much power, actual power he's putting out for how much he weighs, the ratio for how much power that divided by how much he weighs out on course. And that's going to climb at a certain rate, actually, for to create that speed for his avatar and his bike going up and over the top of this climb. 3.5 now coming out from Operans. And there, see, you can tell they've kind of just set it at what they're comfortable with to try and keep the other within striking distance and try and close that down. Now, as you can see, Berger here, 3.4. Oprens now 3.4, 3.5, 3.4, 3.5 now. Being chased down here, 122 beats per minute, actually. Maybe just taking it easy out here today, as we're seeing 160 there coming from Essen, as well as Johnny Bay now, looking good in that KISS. Excuse me, not in the, looks like he's hanging out in the 100 kilometer kit. It's actually one of the first kits that was out on Zwift that was an accomplishment you could do. There is a 100 miler as well as a 100 kilometer kit that you can open up out on Zwift, and you get those if you complete 100 kilometers or if you do 100 miles in the game. You can don that kit, showing off that you are able to complete that much distance and time out in the game. Bergenski now from the BRT team holding on to Westerhoff. It looks like Oxenham is able to get away a little bit here from the chase group containing Westerhoff, and it looks like Bergenski. Brown up ahead just a little bit here. Cogs now riding for Cogs with an unattached country flag, actually, with Schmid-Peter. It looks like Griffin now still making their way up and over the top of the climb. Let's make our way back to the front end of this race, as it looks like Diner has able to open up a solid 44 seconds now, with Plusmers chasing him down as they make their way over the bridge into the final sections of this course before they make their way on to the volcano climb. This is the bridge leaving the separating river. We need a name for all these landmarks, actually. We've got names for like the usual landmarks, but what's this inlet called? What's the ocean called? Watopia Ocean and the Watopia River Inlet. But we definitely need to get some names on some of these things. Maybe even some landmarks with like this is what this place is called. That'd be absolutely great, actually. So Diner here, 55 seconds up. We do see Plusmers resting up a little bit here. Kalen now 2.7 watts per kilogram into Sagan Tuck. Hasn't been able to catch Richard as well as ZS, actually, with this group of four and Plusmers off the front solo at this point. It is going to be a battle, actually, I think, for Plusmers to hold them off, actually. I'm wondering what Kalen's drinking there. Kalen, can you hold that up to the camera? What are you drinking there, Kalen? What is in the can? I hope he can hear me. I'd love to know what is in that can that I just saw you throw it down there. What is going on? He's drinking some sort. Is that a Red Bull? Has he got a Red Bull there? He's got something. It's Coca-Cola. Look at the Coca-Colas in the background there. He's hammering some caffeine and sugar right now, boys and girls. Throwing down right now, trying to grab some extra sugar. 46 minutes into this race now. at this point and looking to bring back Plujmers and hold down. He's still got second place within reach at this point. So we could be watching a podium finish here coming from Tom O'Kalin from the KRT team. Give him some extra motivation here being on the screen. Let's give him some cheering and some ride-ons. If you do have that Zwift mobile link, we would love to see it rain ride-ons over each of the riders out on the broadcast right now. You can download that Zwift mobile link in the Play stores, in the Android Play Store, or over at the Apple Store as well. It is a free download for the Zwift mobile link. You can also use this game in the Zwift app, actually, as well. So you can use it, the Zwift app on your PC, your Mac, as well as your iOS devices on an iPad or an iPhone. Those are all of the platforms that you can use it on. Android is on its way. I did see it being worked on when I was over at Zwift HQ. It does look like Richard's super motivated to bring this back in, but without an RPM here, it's definitely an interesting situation here. They've got an autobus on the front, and poor Plujmers is probably not going to be able to hold this off. Even Diner might be at threat at this point as Richards is pulling these boys back in. So a little bit of a disruption here in the race, but Diner here at 166 beats per minute, just going to keep it steady here. And with the kind of gap that he has at this point, I think that Diner is just going to be in damage control mode at this point, just trying to keep the time gap as high as he possibly can at this point, not bring that heart rate too high, not burn too much energy at this point, and make sure that he's got everything he can to kick it for a 6 to 7 minute climb up and over the top of the volcano, the final climb out on this Rafa Rising Three Sisters Challenge out here today. So Richards wants to win. Marcus Bennett is saying, yep, he definitely does, I think. So Godly Warrior, good to see you over there, says that's awesome about the Zwift platform. I'm also seeing Carson Rex 704. Good to see you as well as Gangster Nun. Gangster Nun 4, thanks a lot for tuning in and saying smooth riding over at the Mixer channel. Looking through, looking for a few more of the comments. If you would like to tweet your Zwift setup, or what it looks like for you to be hammering away out on course right now, or you just like to tweet any comments at it, you can do so by tweeting at Z Community Live, and you can also find all the places that we are online over at our website, zwiftcommunitylive.com. So Diner with Plujmers, it looks like, is still going to be caught now at this point. We did not think that it was going to happen, but Kayland and the rest were able to grab the autobus. That is Richard at this point, right along with ZS, and hang on for dear life. Diner's going to be pulled in at this point. Now he sees the threat coming. Kicks into 6.3 watts per kilogram. As they make their way up and over the top of this little bit of a kicker into the Italian village, they'll take a left-hand turn then into the final climb up and over the top of the volcano in just a moment. They're going to go past the Scotty the Squirrel Fountain. One of my absolute favorite monuments out on Zwift. You can see it there out in the distance. It's one of the additions that came with the latest expansion of the volcano course, actually. This is actually the first person view we're getting here from Philip. Diner cruising along at 32 miles per hour. And there is the fountain. They'll be taking a left-hand turn into the dust bowl that is the entrance into the old volcano course. And it is an old volcano course. I mean, it's a new course out on course, but I call it old because there's some ruins as they make their way over toward this course, actually. So they exit the Italian village and some of the dirt roads, and you start going through some old ruins, actually, as if it's a section out on Watopia that hasn't seen a whole lot of population. Probably been abandoned since the volcano is active out on course. There's the volcano in the distance, and they're going to be heating it up and climbing that volcano around the entirety of the circumference of it over and over again until they hit the very top, actually. Right around a 6 or 7 minute climb, most likely, for these A-boys at the front. Richard there at 6.8 all day long. Is there a way to flag that and pull him from the race? Because he is definitely affecting the race at this point. I hope that there is a way. I think a few people can log in and flag that. No offense to Richard, though, but there is definitely an all day long 6 point. I mean, this is, at this point, there's no question whatsoever. There's an unnatural effort being put out, and these boys just don't have any chance. They either go by him, and since they can hold right around 5 watts per kilogram or so at the front end of their group, they almost have no choice but to hang on at this point. Richard actually backs off, it seems like, if he loses them. So we'll see if these riders do back off at all and just allow him to get away. Pluzmers did do so and doesn't want to race, it looks like, with the Autobus at this point. Strzezinski, though, and Pluzmers are going to battle it out as they make their way toward the volcano climb out there today. So, and now we're looking through here. Gangster saying that that's a big volcano, a smooth one as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. One of the coolest additions out on Zwift for sure. And now we are seeing, it looks like, is that actually some clouds cover coming through as the riders are making their way toward this final climb in the Rafa Rising Challenge. It probably got about 20 minutes of racing to go or so, and that's actually the moon just coming over the top of the epic KOM there. Pretty cool scenes and shadows coming through. Out on course, we see a group of birds out there going by past the tower climb. So back with the rest of the B and the C category riders, we definitely want to see what's happening with them out on course. We do see it is going to be Appelgren from the B category, actually coming out of South Africa here, trying to chase down RD as well as Westerhoff. Turmont here from Vision Cycling here trying to chase down, it looks like, Sharples, who's got about a 2-second gap over him. We'll give him a ride on. We'll give Mr. Timothy Turmont a ride on as well. A little ways back, we got M. Berger here still in the C category, making his way over this little 4% gradient, still on the downhill sections of the epic KOM. Essen is there as well. Moving forward, we're going to see if we can find the man from the WBR, as we had a few viewers wondering where he was at out on course. Here's KC, still holding it down for, it looks like, just outside the top 10 right now. Dave Ranson definitely has a little something about something to say about Richard, and a little bit of interesting comments coming through. It does look like KC is racing in the B category. He's holding down for a top 3 so far, actually. So solid race for him. Razik, and Schmid-Peter actually are battling it out on course right now for this top 3 position. Looks like Razik is right ahead of him in this B category. Where is Schmid-Peter actually out there? Looks like he's been dropped off at this point. Not seeing him anywhere near here. So it will be first and second place in the B category right now as they make their way down the left-hand turn onto the Watopia forward and then over into the volcano course. We do see them entering the volcano course, so let's start seeing how it's heating up in the chase group. Diner now just making his way out of the volcano and over toward the climb for the final time over the top of the last peak in the Three Sisters Rafa Rising Challenge out here today. Kalen now here, 20 seconds off the back from these boys. He let Richard go at this point. That's probably a good thing, actually. I'm not sure ZC either is going to have relegation or not. I have no idea. I have no past experience with ZC. I'll have to take a look through here and see if he's ever had any past results. ZS, excuse me, not ZC, ZS. It looks like United Arab Emirates is where he's coming from. Zor S with 286 FTP, 36 races out on Zwift. He's taken a couple of wins, XRS Ibex race actually, as well as the ZTR training ride. No relegation, so it looks like he's got a solid, definitely has a solid efforts out on course, but into that 5 watts per kilogram. So maybe has been tagged actually. Actually, he was DQ'd in those races looking back now. So is going to need to have some verification around his power files for his 20-minute efforts. So Kalen is safe at this point for a second place as long as he holds off Pluzmers and Strzezinski as the rider up ahead of him. Both Richard and ZS have had their eyebrows raised at their power files, which is a great thing. You know, it's great that they're out there getting a great effort in and able to push themselves, but at the same time, the community definitely wants to have some checks and balances to make sure that the effort that's going into the pedals. I mean, look at the effort from Kalen here right now. He's got his head down, just trying to hold on to this placing that he has right now, trying to bring back Diner. He's only 40 seconds up at this point, 163 beats per minute. This is an all-out, real-life effort that you can see. Not saying that these other riders don't have that, but the verification around that and just having some honesty around that between the riders to say, hey, look, you think you can hold 5 watts per kilogram? You go over 5 watts per kilogram, we're going to tag you in ZwiftPower.com and just give a little bit of question to say, hey, can you send us some power files in real life? Because over 5 watts per kilogram, that's going into Cat 1 to professional type racing, actually, elite level racing. And that's a very small percentage of the population out there. So just with a little bit of verification, it is actually a great program that they've got going on over there to just make sure nobody is fooling themselves or the rest of the field here. Now, Kalen, as you can see here, holding off Pluzmers right along with Strzinski, 38 seconds up from them. Diner with only 27 seconds now. Kalen, man, huge effort at this point. Now grabs a little bit of water here, 2.5 watts per kilogram, 162 beats per minute. He's got one more climb in front of him. Diner actually letting these boys go as well. He's been caught and says, GG, good game, boys. You can have it. I'm going to be chasing pixels all day long, but the autobuses can have it, as Diner's going to let that go and just try and hold on to his effort here ahead of Kalen. KRT versus Vision Cycling at this point out on course. And Makas Bennett saying, I wouldn't bike though, Volcano. Makas Bennett saying over at the Mixer channel. Only if I was promised a salad, you got to stay healthy. Gangster None is saying over at the Mixer channel. Looking through to see if we've got any other comments over at Zwift Facebook now. And if you would like to bring us any questions or comments, let us know. This is the final climb up over the top, 58 minutes into the race. And what's crazy, actually, even though they're doing this crazy Rafa Rising challenge, they're going to still finish within about 10 minutes, actually, of a usual race, longer race out on Zwift. A lot of times we have races somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour and 5 or so, and they're still going to finish within about 5 to 10 minutes of that. What an amazing effort here from the riders here. We do see it looks like Kalen now hammering away still, 391 watts or so, trying to bring back Mr. Diner. Diner here, 167. Now we are seeing 166. 30 seconds is the difference between first and second at this point. Now Pluzmers with one final effort, trying to drop off Peter Strzinski, who is 6 meters off of his wheel. Now, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner over there on the screen, you can see the actual gradient that they're feeling, but you can also see the profile for the course that they're currently on. And this is a tricky one, actually, the KOM. They hit this 4% gradient or so, but then it flattens out and actually goes downhill in a couple of sections. So you actually have to have some continuity. You no longer have that force pushing back at you on the pedals. You no longer have that uphill gradient to push against. And so as it flattens out, you got to have the continuance of the power actually and spin out really, really well actually on that section. You got to keep that speed and that continuance, because climbing actually a lot of times gives you a little bit more motivation and some more force in that pedals actually. So it's all about, through this next section of course, to keep that power on, because Pluzmers know on these steeper sections of the course, he could bring back that 20 seconds that Kalen has on him. Up in that 6 watts per kilogram, he's reserved a lot, riding with Strzinski for that quarter or so of the entirety of the course now. Kalen backing off the 2.6 watts per kilogram or so up ahead here, resting up just a little bit and maybe blowing up a little bit at this point, trying to get back now into 5.4, kicking one more time here. He knows Diner's gone. Now it's just a battle between him and Pluzmers. You can see the effort that Pluzmers is putting out. They're about halfway up to the top of this climb. This climb is so tricky. I always think that I'm further up to the top of this climb than I actually am. They're only halfway up, about 3 minutes in to a total of a 6-minute or more climb. Now Diner up and over the, not over the top just yet, heading back into the volcano as they are making their way to the final section of this volcano climb. Kalen here, 5.3, 54 seconds back. So Diner's continuing to go out from Tom of Kalen. 164 beats per minute here coming from Kalen out of Norway. Going into the volcano. It's going to be heating up here for just a second here. Looking over his shoulder, 22 seconds. Out of sight, but not out of mind, that's for sure. As Pluzmers can see exactly what kind of effort Mr. T. Kalen is throwing down right now. It's actually raining in the volcano. That's crazy. I've never seen it rain in the volcano actually before. I think that's from the open section up on top. Actually, the rain is coming into the volcano there. It's probably steaming a whole lot actually from the rain hitting the lava at the bottom of this volcano at this point. That was kind of cool. Diner now with the final section, 5% gradient. It actually goes up and up and up and up, steeper and steeper and steeper and steeper as they hit the top of the climb. And that's going to be the moments that they can really make a difference between themselves and the others. It's the power on the climbs is where it matters the most. I always said as a mountain biker, you win the races on the climbs. The climbs is almost always where you can put the most time into the rest of the course. Come on, KC, do race WBR proud and bring it home strong. There's a little bit of a encouragement there coming from Mark Lee, encouraging on Mr. Kevin O'Connor's there from the Race WBR team. And he is sitting in the lead right now amongst the boys in the B category, chasing down AT as well as Razik now. Kicking up to 6.3 watts per kilogram. They're about to hit their start of the climb actually here for the KOM. Raining out on Zwift right now and 148 beats per minute. Definitely resting up, I think, Mr. Kevin O'Connor's here from the WBR. Looking maybe to make the attack and maybe pull in a few of those riders from the A category up ahead. We'll have to see if he can do this. There is the King of the Mountain, Queen of the Mountain, actually out on course here. And looking through, we do see it is going to be, we don't have any data actually just yet for the riders here. So now it is going to be a 5% gradient, 2.7 miles total though, to the top for the B riders now. So back to the front end of the A race. We'll get back with these B riders as they make their way up and over the top of the climb. The final bits of rain as they make their final little climb over the top here. Here's Diner now into that 3.0% gradient. Now one last kick to the top, 4.5 watts per kilogram, 160 beats per minute. This guy has been off the front for over a half an hour at this point. Attacked over the tower climb, has been off the front at 4.5 to 5.5 plus for that entirety of the half hour. Right into that 168 and just stuck it there the entire time. This has been a killer effort for Diner now, as you can see. Looking over the shoulder, Kalen is out of sight and out of mind, but Kalen, no, my goodness, Joachim Ploesmers with this effort has almost pulled Tom Ulf Kalen back in to the fold for second place out here. It might come down to a sprint finish after all that time. Peter Szynski from Poland's been dropped off. One last kick to the top, 9 watts per kilogram. Kalen sees him coming now. What has he got? And look at the focus here, though, from Tom. He can see him coming. He's got a focus in mind now. There's a lot of suffering. He's breathing good there, really getting a steady rhythm at this point, as he is definitely being dragged back in, though, by Joachim Ploesmers from Team Experimental for that second place. So what is going to be the tactic? It's going to be smart racing is what he's going to be looking to do toward the finish line here, as they only are going to have about 3 or 4 miles to the finish of this race out here today after they come over the top. Ploesmers not waiting for anything, makes an attack immediately, goes right on by. Is there a response from Kalen? Does he have anything? He kicks it one more time now, as Ploesmers wants to end it before they even get to the finish line. Kalen, 5.4 watts per kilogram, 164 beats per minute. Ploesmers up into that 7 watts per kilogram now, as you can see, trying to drop off Kalen. And now Kalen up and out of the saddle, knowing this is a moment of truth for him. Whether or not he's able to hold on right now is whether or not he's still involved in this race to the finish line. 6 watts per kilogram. Ploesmers comes over the top with about 2 seconds. Will he fade? Will Kalen have anything over the top here? Ploesmers gets 3 seconds immediately. There is the gap now. Looking over the shoulders. Will Kalen be able to bring this back in? That is the question. Ploesmers now kicks one more time. Kalen now rests up a little bit. Lets it go now, it looks like, and maybe is just going to have to let that gap go and maybe try and bring it back on the downhill. But it looks like Joachim saved up plenty of energy for that last attack up and over the top now. And now we're getting back into the race at the back now, as we do see it is going to be Razik right along with KC here for those top spots in the B category. Actually, we do see Razik here carrying KC along a little bit here. KC, we can see 3.7 watts per kilogram sitting in that draft, playing it smart, making sure that Razik doesn't go anywhere, just keeping him within his sights. Maybe we're going to see a similar attack up over the top that we saw from Joachim just now to try and break things apart. Maybe we are seeing KC here just playing things smart in the B category and just waiting for that final moment. Maybe he just wants a sprint effort and knows that he can get the better of Razik at the line. Looking through here now, we do see it is going to be Pluzmers with Kalen trying to chase it down, but it is 15 seconds now. I'm not going to see them again. Diner with a solid minute plus now over the top of the rest of the riders. Still chasing down ZS as well as Richard, actually, off the back from Diner. Diner attacking the robots out on course. So still looking for the win, even though he is amongst the craziness of the robots here out on the world of Zwift. Skating Data, good to see you, man. He says this looks fun. Thanks a lot for tuning in over at the Mixer channel. And Gixon says, I'm the smoothest man alive. And now we are seeing fastest man arrive is Richard, says Makins Bennett. Thanks a lot for tuning in, boys, and we appreciate all of your comments. Roger says anything over 5 watts per kilogram is counted as DQ, as that is close to pro numbers, but if they can prove it, they are put back in the results. Thanks a lot for the explanation of the Zara approval. Really appreciate that comment there over at the Mixer channel coming from Rogers. Now Diner with one last attack here, trying to get back on turns with ZS, and it looks like he threw it down into 5 watts per kilogram, 169 beats per minute. Philip Diner here with one last little kick as they make their way into the final section out on course. They will go downhill, take a left-hand turn, I believe, in just a moment, onto the regular Watopia forward and then into the finish line. We may have a sprint finish actually all the way to the finish. ZS and Pluzmers with the 6:55. Diner with the third place over the top of the Volcano. KOM. Looking at the results, we've got no data for the reverse actually here for these climbs out on course, but I believe they've actually been stolen from Diner. I'm not seeing him having the official KOM, but maybe that's just because we are a part of the event module right now that he does not have the official KOM out on course. We'll have to see once they head out of the event actually and into the general population out on Zwift. It'll show us whether or not they have those KOMs. ZS does have the fastest loop though on the Volcano, or excuse me, the fastest for the KOM on the Volcano, and actually is holding the reverse, you can see here, for the KOM on the Volcano course right now. Looking through here, we are going to see then KC. We are keeping an eye on these boys making their final little bit of a climb over the top of the KOM here. And it looks like Razik and KC still battling it out. We were expecting this from KC, I thought, actually. 5.8 watts per kilogram. Able to drop off Razik by about 5, now 6 meters. It is outside of a draft now. Razik kicks into 5.9, though, is able to grab right on. The man out of Switzerland still not letting KC go anywhere. Rose that heart rate very quickly by 15 beats, actually, as you can see now. KC from the race WBR, 6.4 again. But we're not into the steepest part just yet. Here's that last 30 seconds to a minute now into a 4.3, 4.4. Now going to go into a 6% gradient in just a moment here. Does KC have anything left to drop off Razik, though? Or is it going to come down to a sprint finish as they make their way into the downhill section out on course for this B category race now? As you can see here, there is the tippity top of the Volcano climb. They'll make their way around the top of the climb here and then down the roundabout there. So now we're seeing 4 meters is the difference there. Good to see Allison hanging out over at the Mixer channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. The Passion Israel going on, has it going there. Cobra Star Scream, thanks a lot for tuning in, as well as Pedro Lucas. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Razik with one last kick now. Almost dropping off KC actually out of Ireland here. The WBR boys going to have to watch out. Razik's not messing around out there in this B category. 1 and 2 in the B category. Still up in that 164 beats per minute. I know that Razik, though, 180 is definitely suffering at this point. Allison, Richard and ZS will be disqualified. They are not running the race any longer, as I think Diner is absolutely gone. There was a little bit of a drag in from the auto buses a little earlier, but at this point, since they are not going to be involved in the final results, Diner is just going to take the W, and now the battle between Plujmers and Kalen with that 19 seconds. Plujmers now fading to 2.3 watts per kilogram. Let's see how focused Kalen still is here. You can see that he has been dropped off, but he may be able to still bring it back in. We'll have to see if he's got the effort, as Plujmers now faded down to that 2.6 watts per kilogram. So Kalen now we are seeing here into 4.0 or so. Plujmers still kicking though, 4.9, 27 miles per hour. Kalen almost has him within sights, but 26, as you can see, 19 seconds. Not sure that second place is still within grasp at this point, but he is going to get the better, it looks like, of these other riders. Hodges 223 back from him for sure. So Plujmers now going to be holding down for that second place. Diner now up ahead, as you can see here. He's going to be able to sprint it out with the robots, though. Can he take them on? Richard, they're 6.0 all day long. You know, this is almost good for Diner. Diner, I always said, racing the pixels, chasing the pixels made me the strongest rider I could possibly be. My best results ever in my pro racing career was from racing out on Zwift. Racing, training, and riding out on Zwift made me absolutely, hands down, the strongest I've ever been. It is because of these kinds of efforts, chasing pixels, battling against these riders in an international field, continually pedaling nonstop all day long here, killing myself, suffering from that pain cave. And you see Diner here able to get the better, actually, an all-out, outright win, actually, against the robots out here today. Good to see Ranger Cole. Good to see you here out on the Mixer channel, as well as Found Banjo 99963. How you doing there, Found Banjo? So looks like we are still having a battle in the B category. We'll still cover the A and the B category, but this is going to be your winner for the day out here in the race out on the Three Sisters Challenge, Rafa Rising Challenge. Nice job for Philip Diner across the line here, able to take down the rest of the field. Took it right from the Epic KOM and didn't look back. Plujmers now taking the left-hand turn on to the forward course. Going to get that second place, barring any kind of crazy mayhem to the line. Great job to Joachim Plujmers. But Kalen here, our rider, on board with us in the virtual studio. Kalen going to be holding down for third place, with Szerzynski chasing him down for fourth so far, barring any kind of craziness out on course. Go Diner, beat the robots, Allison has said. Friend Panther, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Peloton over here at the Zwift Community Live on Mixer. Kalen there, 29 seconds back from Plujmers. Nice job to him. Plujmers just about to cross the line. Still has about a little under a K to go to throw down. All right, Rodzik, and it looks like Kevin Connors from the WBR team making their way down the Volcano KOM still. That's going to be battle for the B category. Before we get into that, we're going to watch these boys cross the line for first, second, and third. But then we want to chat a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on this weekend. The Rafa Rise Challenge, though, all the way through the end of the month. These guys, we just saw them do the Rafa Rising Challenge in a race. You don't have to race it, actually, in order to open up the kit and complete the challenge. Actually, you can do it by joining it by logging into Zwift and clicking on the left-hand side. There's going to be a little join the Rafa Rising Challenge, and you can do this Three Sisters that will actually put you right out onto the course. You can do the Three Sisters 3 climbs, KOM forward, KOM epic climb, as well as the volcano. So nice job to Tom of Kalen. That was our rider on board. Give him a ride on. Congratulations, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in, or for joining in with us, Tom. Great job out there, man. That was a solid effort, dude. Huge for the third place out there. Right on into, though, the Rafa Rising Challenge, boys and girls. You still have through the end of the month to get out on Zwift and open up that kit. Really cool kit that you can open up in game. And here's the details on that, what it looks like, and what you just saw. As you can see, the Rafa Rising Challenge, go ahead and log in and jump in, and you can complete those 3 KOMs. It will put you right into them. We were talking a lot about the WBR boys. They have WBR group rides and races every single day, and we do actually have Mr. Kevin Connors, who helps run the WBR, out on course racing right now. So good time to make a little suggestion about jumping out onto their rides, as they have some great organized and led rides out on course with some fast laps as well as some chill laps, as well as a lot of races that you can jump into. Is your first time checking out Zwift, you can head on over to their website, Zwift.com, and check out how to get set up. There's a little Get Started tab actually up above at the top of the website, and it'll tell you all the ways that you can get out onto Zwift. All right, the attacks are starting, and as you can see here, Rozic has been dropped off actually. Speaking of the WBR here, we do have Kevin Connors now. Did make an attack on the downhill actually. Nice job to Mr. Kevin Connors there out of Ireland. Looks like he's going to be taking the win in the B category. Rozic now 4.4 watts per kilogram, trying to chase him down. 9 seconds back though, and the gap continues to go out, as we do have KC absolutely killing it here, as they are making his way to the line here. About a mile or two to go to the line, 3 to 4K still before he finishes up this Three Sisters Challenge race out on course right now. Rozic now 4.4 watts per kilogram, trying to chase that down. Not going to happen though, it looks like. 9 seconds can be closed down, but I think that KC saved up a whole lot of energy to the line. And so, Rogers, I appreciate your comment, but according to ZwiftPower.com, he is most definitely registered as a B category rider the last time it updated. Maybe it was incorrect, but I am seeing a 3.8 watts per kilogram within category limit and a B next to his name in ZwiftPower.com, but maybe it says A on course though right in front of me here, so I'm not sure about what's going on between these riders. For some reason it has him registered as a B, so but I am seeing A in game, and since he has A in game, it's most likely going to be an A category rider. So Rozic is definitely going to be winning the B category then with a solid. I'm looking through here, and it is going to, how much did he do for this ride today? It looks like 4.1 watts per kilogram over category limits, so he's actually into his category limits. Thanks a lot, though, Rogers. I appreciate you. Let me know. He has 2 lots of A in this name, though I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's interesting, but I am seeing B in the name there, but I'm seeing ZTR. A in the name, but B next to his name in ZwiftPower.com. Maybe just a mistake on ZwiftPower.com side. What's going on, War Amp? How are you doing? How's it going, Solar Pancake 432? Bonjour. Good to see you. BJ Alfonso, good to see you as well over at the Mixer channel. So we're looking forward now. Here we are going to have Mr. KC making way to the line. Rozic as well in the B category. And we're going to call that as the race right now amongst these riders. If they are not, then it will be Bergenski solo off the front in the B category, hammering it out with Oxenham here and Westerhoff actually for the win in the B category. This would be the winner then in the B category. Westerhoff, though, also a B rider, so maybe between these riders are going to be the ones, as they're the ones with B in their name. Rozic is over category limits actually for the 20-minute effort, so he's going to be getting an upgrade. So how about we change everything up on the fly right here and just say here's the race for the B categories. They're making their way to the line within the last kilometer. So here's the B race actually. Kevin Connors, actually an A rider. Sorry about that the whole time. It did actually say B next to his name over on ZwiftPower.com, but it looked like he had A in his name. Nice job to Kevin out there. We were able to cover him a little bit and get a little shout at the WBR anyways. But Westerhoff off the front now. You can see Oxenham trying to close it down. And hi, I'm just messing around. I don't speak French. That's all good, man. No worries, Solar Pancake. Thanks for tuning in. You can say bonjour if you want all day long. Oxenham here, 6.9 watts per kilogram, trying to close it down to his teammate, Westerhoff there. Westerhoff has 3 seconds off the front now. Bergenski not going to see them again. It looks like Westerhoff's going to take the win in that B category here as we look over his shoulders from Team Experimental. Team Experimental, though, still battling out amongst each other. Now we are 166, 348 watts, leading it out now. It does not have the drop. Oxenham fades before the line. Sox and Ham not going to be able to close it down. I'm not sure. He's like 1 watt per kilogram, and he's not going anywhere. Westerhoff's still putting on a huge effort, but not speeding up. He's going to have to take all this speed into the flatter section of the course. Where's the effort now at this point? Westerhoff and Oxenham to the line. Who's it going to be? It's only 7 meters now, as you can see. Gets the ride on, as you can see. Westerhoff there, 4.8 watts per kilogram, 300 meters to the line. Who's got the effort? 166 beats per minute. Oxenham right on the wheel, 172. It looks like it's going to be the Soxenham going to be nipping Westerhoff at the line. But Westerhoff will take the win in the B category, but gets the better of his teammate as the Soxenham is able to throw down. Westerhoff now across the line. First place in the B category. Brzezinski is going to be taken, it looks like, second as he makes his way to the line. Brendan Melton-Tallow, good to see him out on course. He was our last onboard rider. Good to have him out there. BRT taking second place. Nice job to him, followed by Cogs and RD. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. We are going to be back tomorrow with the PRL group ride. A couple of things we definitely want to show you guys that are happening in the next couple of days, as well as the next month or two. A lot of cool things happening. Obviously, the Rafa Rising Challenge that we just showed you, but also the Zwift Academy. For those of you that do not know, the registration has been opened up. For those of you that are new to Zwift, we have so many people actually over at the Mixer channel. I mean, we've had over and over again 200, 300, even at sometimes up to 1,300 concurrent viewers over at the Mixer channel. Huge shout out to Mixer and all of you tuning in over there. Absolutely awesome to have you guys and gals over there. If you are new to the world of Zwift, Zwift has so many cool initiatives, and one of them is the Zwift Academy, in which you are able to compete and encourage each other on in a community of riders that is aimed at women to get them out onto the world of Zwift and working out through these group workouts that you can complete, as well as individual workouts that you complete on your own, toward a competition that at the end of it, we'll be giving away a pro contract to one woman. But the whole idea of it isn't just about gaining the pro contract. It's about all of the women that get involved in it and encourage each other on and push each other on to get better through the power of bicycles and indoor cycling made social. So a really cool program that you can be a part of. Here is how Zwift Academy turned out last year. And looking forward to the launch of the official Zwift Academy in September, actually. But registration is opened up, and you can see where you can register at the end of this video.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, just do your best, because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
So Zwift Academy back in 2017, excuse me. The groundbreaking talent ID program that launched a global cycling community returns to offer women cyclists from around the world a chance to win a pro contract with Canyon SRAM Racing. Head on over to Zwift, academy.zwift.com, and you can see all the things that are going on. The qualifying is going to be going on for the Zwift Academy from September, but the initial qualifying is going to be September 1st through October 13th. The semifinals are going to be November 1st through the November 22nd, and then the finals will be December 10th through December 20th. Make sure to sign up now and get involved and start getting updates on all things Zwift Academy. There's also a good warm-up coming up for the Zwift Academy. You can actually jump into a race. There's a women's specific race. Prudential Ride London Classic Women's Race actually is going on this Saturday. We will be covering it here on Zwift Community Live, actually. Zwift Academy's London Classic Women's Race, the Prudential Ride London Classic, brings the world's best women cyclists to the streets of London to race a 5.5 kilometer circuit, actually, for the highest prize purse of Women's World's Tour. That is happening this weekend. Now it's your turn to race on the same course as the pro women at the same time. Zwift Academy's race will complete 6 laps on the London Classic course, actually, this Saturday. So there's live coverage of the Prudential Ride London Classic on BBC TV, so check your TV listens for details for that. Be inspired by watching Canyon SRAM Racing tear through the same streets that you can tear through and be covered on Zwift Community Live out on Zwift, actually, this weekend. Everyone who finishes the race will be eligible to win one of several gifts, actually, from Canyon SRAM Racing. So everyone who finishes this race, if you jump into this race this weekend on Saturday, you are able to jump in and grab all the women who are able to jump in and grab a spot in the race, you will be able to be eligible to win one of several gifts. So this is a great prep for the Zwift Academy. Official start is on September 1st. There's an A and a C category actually in this race on the London Classic. So again, Prudential Ride London Classic race July 29th, 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time out on Zwift. Make sure not to miss that. All right, for a lot of you who are just tuning in, we just did the XRS ZTR race. We had coverage of that. Let's go ahead and go through some of the category results. Philip Diner takes the win for Vision Cycling, and in 1 hour and 13 out on the Three Sisters course. Absolutely killer. That is probably one of the fastest times. Richard will most likely have a DQ. So actually, let's go to Joachim Plujmers takes second after being dropped off the back and comes back to the front end of the race and takes that second place for Team Experimental. Tom Kaland with our onboard rider there grabs that third place. We saw some crazy efforts from him, real life efforts. Thanks a lot to Tom for bringing his real life efforts into the virtual studio. For the B category, it says that Race WBR Kevin is in there, but I'm not sure. It said A in his name. Renee Razik took maybe second place, but he has 4.0 plus watts per kilogram. So I'm not an official, I'm just a broadcaster, but I'm going to say that maybe Dietrich Westerhoff, followed by John Bergenski, and then Mark Appelgren for your top 3 in those races. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I got a lot of people over at Mixer probably asking a lot of questions about what is going on in front of you. Here's what Zwift looks like, and different ways that you can connect to it through a smart trainer with your own bike, actually, as well as different ways you can use it with workout mode, as well as racing and group ride mode out on Zwift. And that'll be it after this promo for our broadcast. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Prudential Ride London warm-up ride that I'll be riding as a ride leader, actually. So if you'd like to join me for that, go ahead and log into the game, and I'll be leading a live ride, actually, on Zwift Community Live for the PRL, actually. It's going to be, I believe, right around a 2.5 to 3.0 watt per kilogram ride, and we'll be making sure you stick around the live ride leader. Make sure to stick by the beacon out on course, actually. So see you guys tomorrow for that, and here's a little bit about what Zwift is.